Alright guys, today is June 22nd, 2018, and here is update number 7. So in this update, not much is going on because the heat is just so ridiculous that my plants are just suffering like crazy, and most of them drop all of their buds except for a few, and those are starting to turn into fruit, so I'll show you guys that. So those fruits will be saved for seeds to grow next year, because those that survive this heat wave is probably going to be really strong next year. So that's the reason why I usually like to save seeds from those pots. Anyway, before we go into the update, let me show you. You see here, the weather in Texas is crazy. 99 hundreds, and I mean it's above, it's near 100 like every day of the week, and it's been like this for like a few weeks already. So, and you see here, the plants are kind of drooping because it's like desperately trying to survive under this heat. So the soil dries out very quick, especially these in pots here, because it's just so hot. So the plants has to take up more water and release more water to keep itself alive. So every few days, like 2 to 3 days, you're gonna see that they look like this. So make sure to keep them hydrated if you are growing plants in the hot climate. Okay, so I'll go around and show you what I have, and then maybe answer a few of the questions as we go along. Okay, we'll start with the Pekin. This is the Super Pekin, and it was grown in. It was in this pot here in the previous videos, and this is a 2-gallon, and I switched it to a 10-gallon, and look at this. It's starting to explode. I mean, it was already big, but giving it more space allowed the plant to span out a little bit more. So as I mentioned in a lot of the videos, the more space you give the plant, the larger it can get. Small containers, fine, it just won't grow as big. So I have been eating fruits off of this plant here for a few weeks now, and they produce very nicely. Cool little fruit, very spicy for being something very small. And the birds also love this, so I kept this one here, but I have one over there that anytime the pods get red, the birds get it before I do, so I have to watch for that plant. Okay, so that's my Super Pekin. It's a very beautiful plant. Once the weather dropped a little bit, below 90 at least, this guy is going to do really, really well. And here is the Stargazer, kind of drooping leaves. This is, forgot, one of my chocolate Scotch bonnet cross or something like that. The tag is somewhere in there. And as you can see, it's also drooping like crazy. Another of my cross, chocolate Scotch bonnet cross. I think these two are slightly different. And here is my bonsai plant that I attempted early in the season. It's grown really nice, and it has really cool fruits. I'll show you. Look at this. They're really nice and beautiful, dark purple and almost black in some way. And here's another one here. So this is a very small container, so this thing gets dried real quick. And here are my succulents. I mean, these guys love the heat. They do just fine. Okay, and here is my crimson Starr. And this guy has so many flowers, like hundreds of them, but they all dropped. Only a few made it, so here's one. It looks much better as it gets larger, so there's another one on the other side. Look at this. These fruits are like really cool. They're like, sometimes they're round like this, and sometimes they look like a little elongated, but man, it's just awesome looking. Very large and super, super hot. I tried one of these yesterday, and man, I was like in pain. Okay, and here is my other chocolate Scotch bonnet cross with a Thai pepper, and this is going on its 3rd season. And with this plant, each year it looks a little different. Look at this here. Last year it pointed down, now it's pointing back up, but the fruits are like kind of wrinkled. It looks really cool. Sometimes it has a Thai shape and then a a bonnet shape also at the same time. Okay, and here is my lemon starburst, struggling like crazy, but the fruits are just gorgeous. Let me show you. You see, look, all these leaves are just drooping. Look at this one here. See, that one's almost ready. It's starting to turn from the top. And then we have, look at this crazy one. Look at that. Beautiful shape, killer looking stinger. Those are okay, not too good. I have a few more that are really cool. Look at this here. Very nice, like a spindle top. And this one here is really big. Look at that one. That's the shape that I like. Really cool looking. Love this. And the color is just amazing. It's very vibrant yellow. So gorgeous, gorgeous plant. This is my hornet that I took from the arrow garden that I chopped down, and now it's making a comeback. So I literally cut this guy down to nothing. Same as that one right there. This is another stargazer that I took from inside, hydroponic. Chopped the entire plant down to that much, so I'm waiting for it to come back. It's my Reaper here. Reapers are very sensitive plants. I've grown them for like 4 or 5 seasons now, and each year I get the exact same thing. It cannot stand the heat, but once it cooled down a bit, it produced really beautiful fruit. So guys, if you're growing Reapers and your plants are just dropping buds all over the place, a lot of it is due to extreme heat. They can't do anything over 85 degrees. So that's Fahrenheit. Okay, and here is my lemon starburst. Right, that guy right there. Propagated. I cut a branch, put it into hydro, speed up the process, let it grow real quick, then bring it outside. So that's usually how I do every season. When I grow a plant and I didn't realize how good it is or how much I like it, and I need more, instead of starting over, I just cut a branch, propagate it, put it into hydroponic, speed up the growth, and then bring it outside. Okay, next up here is my Franken tree. Super Pekin at the top, and then the crimson star at the bottom. And look at this one. This one is actually starting to turn. I'm really excited about this. Man, this guy is gonna look good. So saving seeds for that one there. It's been isolated, so that's a prize fruit there. And you can see here, that's where the trunk is. That's where I initially grafted, and the union healed just fine. And look at this, man. The Pekin is just ridiculous. It grows like crazy. I mean, very large plant, and it spans really, really wide, and it's a gorgeous plant. So it has nice dark leaves. The leaves are like extremely tough, so it can withstand heat and everything. So right now it's 98 degrees Fahrenheit, and this guy doesn't seem to mind. So fruit there, that one's ready. If I wait too long, the birds come and they'll just eat it. So there's a few here. See there? I've been eating fruits off of this. I like it when they're green because they're much crunchier and tastier, really spicy. So if you wait until they're red, they're softer on the inside, and those are best for making hot sauce and stuff like that. But then you need a bunch of them, so I always eat them when they're green. Ground cherries, I get ground cherries like every day, and I just picked a bunch from this one already. It just dropped to the ground like this, and you just pick it up. Some more lemon starburst propagated, tomatoes and shiso and all that stuff. Okay, here I have the jabuticaba. This is a plant that Susan gave me. She started from seeds, and it grew indoor, and now looking quite nice. I chopped it down a bit to try to promote new growth. That's my naga there, trying to grow that for the contest. And Super Pekin here. Beautiful plant. They all look like this. They just span all over the place. Tons of branches. Lots of fruits. They're really small, like this. And okay, and a few people ask if you are crossing plants outdoor, how do you do it? And you see those zip ties there? That's how I mark them. I just cross them, and then I mark with the zip tie. And then sometimes you can use a little sticker label like that right there and just wrap it around. And that's how I do it. Okay, and here is a smaller Peking, the super Peking. See, so they can grow in any size pot. Some white Thai over there, more ground cherries. You see these here, they once they're ready, they just drop to the ground, and then you just pick it and store it away for like a week, and they are excellent. They're really good tasting. And here is another Dorset Naga I'm trying to grow for the contest. Charles, that's my contest plant there, buddy. It's like the size of one of your large plants' leaf, but I'm hopeful. Anyway, guys, if you have not seen Charles Dorset Naga, it looked like a tree. So check out Charles' channel, and he has a lot of stuff going on. Here's some ground cherries. Oh, look at this. Usually that's what happened. They'll just fall to the ground like this. Sometimes the wind knock them over as well, or any shake or movement, and they'll just drop these. Look at this. And then you just pick them. They're awesome. I love these things. They're easy to grow too. This one here is grown inside a bucket with my my lemon tree, and every day they just fight for water, so they like droop every day, and I just water and they come right back. So this guy is really stressed, but is producing tons of nice berries for me. Alright guys, next here is my Scotch Brain, and this guy here produce some of the most beautiful fruits. Look at this, look at that. I have two that are ready. Man, they're only two on the plant, but they are just beautiful, large, nice shape, exactly like I want them. Look at that. So I will probably do a video on that one. I'll just keep it there for now. So the less fruits there are on the plant, the more energy it can focus into the fruit, and you get huge, good quality fruits. So especially when you have small plants, if your small plant produce a ton of fruit, the fruits are usually very small. But I didn't force that guy to produce two fruits. It just dropped all the buds because it's just so hot. So that's the one that I did a topping experiment that I didn't do anything with, and I left the flowers on. That's the other Scotch Brain that I topped. Look at that, it's a monster right now. And it actually has pods already. A lot of them dropped, but he managed to produce a few. Look at this. See that? Pretty cool. I think there's a few more somewhere in there, but it's a huge plant. That's the one that I topped. Alright, next up is my Sweet Misery. This is a really cool plant, and every year it produces different type of pheno, and this year is really interesting so far. So I can't wait to see this one here. I really love the way this tastes. It's very spicy. And a lot of the pods look like a Thai pepper, but man, it is ridiculously hot. Okay, and then we have this white habanero here that I've been growing in a sort of like a double cup method. And it's just water down there, and I'm just testing to see how well it does outdoor. I'm not feeding it nutrients or anything like that. I'm trying to keep this small because I want to see what the pods look like. And if I like the way it looks, then I'm gonna condition it to get it to grow bigger. Okay, and here is my lemon starburst bed, and also we have some scarlet rose in there. And man, these guys are just like fighting for space. I made a mistake by putting so many, but I didn't want to get rid of any of the plants, so I crammed them in. But anyway, the heat has been causing these guys a lot of stress, so it dropped a lot of the flowers, but it did produce some really cool ones, so I will show you. Here in the middle here are the scarlet roses, and then here are the lemon starburst. So let me show you some of the fruits. See here, these are lemon starburst here, and we got some really nice pheno. Really happy with how they turn out. Look at this, really cool looking. I have some more that actually look really nice in there. See there? It has the stinger that I wanted, and there's some right there. Really cool shapes, and not much because it's just so hot lately. And these pepper plants, especially the super hot one, they just don't do well in these type of heat. See here, I got a few really nice size one over there. So the shapes are awesome on these guys. Look at this. And then the scarlet rose are actually really beautiful as well. It looks almost like its cousin, the lemon starburst, but the tip of it, instead of like a sharp and pointy tip, it has this right here. So that's the difference between the scarlet rose and the lemon starburst. The tip of the lemon starburst is pointed with a stinger, and these guys are more like a circular shape, and that is the shape that I prefer. Most of them are like this. That one's a little different, but you see here, see, oh, that's a few of the flowers that just dropped. See, they just dropped all over the place once they just stressed. So there's some pods in there. These guys should produce a lot of fruits, so hopefully later in the season it would do that, but right now it's just not doing so well because of this crazy heat. Let's see if I can find a few more to show you. See, here's another one here. You see that little, the bottom has a circular, and some in here. So I really like the way these look. And there's some right here. So I think that's about it. I mean, they're not that many. Let's see these here. These are okay. A little bit kind of like what I want. But yeah, so those are scarlet rose and lemon starburst, and here's some of the hornets here. The hornets are a little bit more sensitive, so most of the buds are gone. You see, when it gets like this, it just fall off due to heat. I have one pot in the bag here, but it's not very pretty. So see there, it's still crazy looking, but it's not the pretty shape that I like. So nothing much on the hornets. So I got some ground cherry. This bed is struggling like crazy because I didn't do a very good mixture of soil, and it gets compacted so crazy. That's why this bed here is slower than the rest. And that here is the Scotch brain that I didn't top. I just picked up the buds, and again, it's just it's probably the soil mix. It's just not doing good for the plant. And here are some Texas crimson bonnet, not doing too great either. Okay, and here I have the white tie, all of them, and they're starting to produce, but under this heat again, they're just not doing too well. So we'll wait until late in the season. Once the temperature drop to below 90s, these guys will pick up a little bit. So I'll probably have a few pots before then. And there is my ridiculous sun sugar tomato. Man, it's just so large. It's starting to fall over because the wind knocked the cage, and then it's resting on my compost bin right here. And then I added some honey kiss melon. Look at this. Look, you see that fruit right there? Big old melon. Hopefully I'll get a few more, but that one is okay for me. Those things get really enormous, and they're very, very nice and sweet. See, when you get these beetle just get rid of them. They're just pests. They eat everything. Those are cucumber beetles. Okay, so those are my tomatoes. Inside here, I should have not planted that tomato in here because tomatoes are like heavy feeder. But look how large they are. So they just suck up all of the nutrients out of this bed quickly. So next year I'm not gonna do that. Another tomato on its own. Then I have some really stressed plants over here as well. This is where it gets the most sun. And as you can see, the leaves are kind of like yellowish. Every few days I have to water these things because it dry up so crazy. Here's my biquino. See, all of the pods are just dropping. It's just so hot. So I'm not gonna get anything out of these guys for a while. Basil. This bed is really stuff that I'm working with. That's a lamb's quarter. Just testing those things out for fun. Coleus, I think? They're coleus, yeah. So I'm testing propagation with those guys. Those are comfrey. And here is my bed alpha cucumbers. And these guys are not producing fruit either because I guess it's so hot. See all of these tomatoes that I'm having right here? I pick a few every day to use, and they just keep more and more coming out. So I started out with like 7 plants and I got rid of a bunch of them because this one plant is enough for me. I mean, there's tomatoes everywhere. All of those there. And I have one tomato indoor in my arrow garden that's doing well as well. See, tomatoes are just all over the place. Okay, and here is another bed that I have some linzo. I can't wait to get fruits for those because I've seen Jay's posting videos, pictures already, and mine are still struggling and just fruits are just keep falling off. Nothing's happening. So yeah, this update is not going to be much except just plants and leaves. Okay, so some watermelon. Oh, let me show you some watermelon. Look at this. That's my sugar baby. And then I have another one in there. That's a watermelon. And over here, just a bunch of random stuff. Ground cherries, tomatoes. I think there's some asparagus somewhere in there. Honey kiss melon. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. There's not much happening. The plants are just struggling in the heat. So hopefully in September, when everything cools down a little bit, then I'll get better videos and nice looking plants with lots of fruits to show you. Anyway guys, that's all for this update. There's really not much, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.